newspaper headlines for the day with in-depth analysis from seasoned professionals. Start your day the right way on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info.
It's 99.3 Nigeria Info, and somehow I feel we should continue what we started this morning throughout the show. It was so much fun. Yeah, I think we're going to do it.
There's going to be some kind of petition written against you.
They will survive today.
ICPC will come after you.
If you're wondering what that oh my god
what that was,
their head is already catching me. If you want to know what we did earlier this morning on the chit chat, we listened to people who hadn't been able to call us ever on the show, first time callers only.
Wow. I never knew we had so much people like that.
Oh my goodness, it was amazing.
So many people,
and they were so happy, and I'm so happy you were able to call. Some of them were saying, we're just even not sure if you still pick the call. And someone said, you are discriminating against us. No, we're not. But it was great listening to you all. So maybe we'll do that again at 8 o'clock. Just listen to first-time callers.
Right.
But for now, let's take a look at the stories across the papers. We have here the Guardian newspaper, the Punch, the Nation, and the Vanguard on my side of the table.
Right. Right here, we've got This Day newspaper. Daily Independent is also in front of me. Daily Trust and Daily Sun newspaper. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Wemimo Adewuni, and Rotimi Sankore joins us this morning. Rotimi, welcome.
Morning.
Let's start off with The Guardian. The Guardian is a media partner. There's a picture here of the president. The caption reads, President Muhammadu Buhari, after unveiling made in Nigeria, mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicles for Nigerian armies, counter-terrorism and other operations in Kaduna yesterday. That's a photo story there. It's also on the Punch newspaper. Buhari unveils made in Nigeria war vehicles, promises security. As you can see a photo of the president there coming out of one of those vehicles. You can also see the story, related one of the Punch. DSS raises security red alert. About what? Well, page 8, the first page and the page 8 of the paper has details. We might touch on it soon. Also on the Vanguard, we've uncovered plots to destabilize Nigeria, says DSS. If it's such a serious plot, should it be in the papers yet?
On the front page of This Day newspaper, security of Nigerians not negotiable. Buhari restates. Rider, DSS raises the alarm on destabilization plot. This Day is the paper. If you like to pick up the paper and read, please do so. Daily Independent next. Buhari unveils made in Nigeria armored vehicles. DSS uncovers plots to destabilize Nigeria in coming weeks. Daily Independence for you. If you like to know more, you can pick it up. Daily Sun is next. Now, we have uncovered plot to destabilize Nigeria. DSS. FG committed to ending impunity. Malami. Daily Sun is the paper for you this morning.
I don't like it when they say go to page 41 and I can't find it on page 41. That's what the catches it to me. So let's read that story from The Nation. The Department of State Services yesterday said it had uncovered syndicated plots, those words in quotes, by some undesirable groups to cause a breakdown of law and order across the country. It said the groups had made arrangements to instigate protests, mass action, and violence with a view to cause anarchy and destabilizing the country in the coming weeks. But a retired senior military intelligence expert, Colonel Ola Majoyogbe, urged the DSS to go ahead and arrest the alleged troublemakers if it was sure of its intelligence. He said merely raising the alarm was unhelpful. The DSS made the claims in a statement by its public relations officer, Dr. Peter Afunaya, and he said, let me quote, these predetermined actions have been designed to take place, let's see page 8 for the rest, to take place simultaneously in the major cities across the geopolitical zones in the coming weeks. This is more so that the plotters are also targeting the Utah citizens to accomplish these sinister moves. Parents are advised to rein in their words and enjoin them not to allow themselves to be used to foment trouble. Similarly, heads of academic and public institutions are to warn their students and employees, respectively, from engaging in any untoward activity against public order. Rotimi? Does it sound like a red alert against people planning mass protests? Is that destabilizing the country?
It's an unnecessary statement, to be quite frank.
Is this a red alert? I'm worried.
It is an unnecessary statement. It is completely unnecessary. Look, the work of agencies like DSS is to look for, find, and ensure that real threats do not. So, for instance, a mass terror attack, something that can really upset the nation. Look, this is the equivalent of somebody coming to say, after the Football Association has said that there will be a match with Brazil in the Uyo Stadium. Then somebody puts out a statement saying they've uncovered a plot that there will be a football match. The people who want to protest
have already said
they want to protest. Some have issued statements saying they want to call it Occupy 2.
Yeah.
Some have given it all kinds of names. All the security agencies need to do is to say, we assure Nigerians that the right to peaceful protest will be respected. Violence during protest is unacceptable. That's the statement we expect.
If you're going to be protesting, make sure it's peaceful.
Make sure it is peaceful
and orderly. Don't destroy.
Things. Violence is unacceptable. We guarantee the right to peaceful protest as in the Constitution.
And provide security for others who don't want to be a part of the protest. So everyone can move.
Matter finish and we will just get on with every other thing. The real threat, I don't know. I'm really confident that there are political historians in the DSS. And as I always say, I'm sure that there are professionals there who joined. People who joined with their head working properly and, believe that they are embarking on a career to protect the country.
And they really want to do that.
Those people didn't join for this kind of...
We're talking about the highest rank when it comes to DSS, because this couldn't have emanated from any DSS offices around the nation.
Well, look,
this is from the headquarters
we
of
have
DSS.
We have seen strange things in this country. Remember during the last government, there was one lady who said she was a spokesperson for the same organization. And sometimes you wonder whether she woke up in the morning and started making up things without clearing with her bosses. So, it is not, in the Nigerian context, it's not completely unusual to find people like this.
You can say that again.
Interesting comment from this Colonel Majoyogbe, who's a retired senior military intelligence expert. He did some breakdown on page 8 of The Nation and said there are a few issues with the statement of the DSL. It says, first, if the service has, put in quotes, uncovered so much about the plots and discovered how they were going to be carried out, why did it not go ahead and arrest the quote undesirable elements? Given the alleged plots, a public warning is not, in my opinion, the best reaction. Should the plotters, in quotes, go ahead and attempt to cause the destabilization anyway, then the service would have failed to perform a duty imposed on it by law. The service is an intelligence agency and it should not allow any threats uncovered to materialize. So the question is, if there is a real threat, should we be reading it on the front pages?
Well, there are circumstances under which it is right for security agencies to put out a statement, to assure that, they will do their job as appropriate. There are some circumstances. So it's not entirely wrong for DSS to put out statements. What is inappropriate is to put out a statement suggesting that anybody exercising their right to peaceful protest,
their civic right,
is a threat to the... Look, if you are exercising your right to peaceful protest, at the very worst, you are a threat to the ego of somebody in office. Maybe you carry a placard, that says something uncomplimentary. But that is your constitutional right. That is why it is a democracy.
Well,
And this thing of, telling parents to about the award, telling vice chancellors
to warn their students.
these are the kind of things we were hearing during military dictatorship.
Right.
And we were laughing when we were university students that VC
warn
the students
to stay in their
wards. So,
Really?
it is important that organizations present a serious face.
Outlook.
So a parent that sees children unemployed after paying for university fees and everything
would probably join in the protest.
So if the protest is peaceful, operational word,
Peaceful and very important.
not a threat to anybody's business,
Right.
anybody who doesn't want to join.
You don't force anybody. Yeah, right.
Just do your placard,
Right.
do whatever. It is a constitutional right. It is really important.
Rotimi.
I'm sure there are political historians in that organization because, look,
I
if you make it
I am very
impossible,
sure that we're yet to hear even the last of this.
yes,
really.
if you make it impossible for one generation to express their displeasure over things, the next generation, in fact, will just disregard the state completely.
Right.
And just one quick last word on this. So we have social media bill coming, trying to curtail internet. Tell me what else will annoy young people more than to try and curtail the internet. Honestly.
So that you are then unable
Yes.
to absolutely express.
And a lot of
what's on your
them
mind.
use it for their business and things.
Let's move
you
on.
have hate
Let's-
speech
let's-
bill
let's
coming.
quickly move
Tell
on.
me what else is more
Rotimi.
likely to. So, the gentleman can see the policies piling up. that
Rotimi,
are
we have to
likely
move on.
trigger
We
protest.
really must move on now.
All they
because
need
of
to
time.
say is that you are entitled to your peaceful protests.
Now, let's move on to Daily Sun newspaper because of time. We're really out of time and we just touched on.
Yeah, that story was.
it is a really important
Yes,
story.
important
Yes, it
story.
is.
It's a really important story. People should ask Babangida. and
Right.
co. Babangida himself has confessed.
Right, let's move on. Rotimi, let's move on. IPOB raises the alarm over safety of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. It comes with two riders here on the front page of Daily Sun. Police declare him wanted over alleged murder of two cops. Ohaneze Jofo react. That's from Daily Sun newspaper. From Daily Independence newspaper, police declare Jofo Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer wanted. No policeman was killed in Anambra community. IPOB speaking there.
Well, the story is also on The Guardian, a banner headline, in fact. Residents flee town of Kanu's lawyer after policeman's death. There are four riders to this one. We want him over murder of two officers. IPOB alleges plot to kill counsel. Ohaneze condemns move by security agents. Petitions Buhari over checkpoints in southeast. It's also on The Nation. Kanu's lawyer wanted over killing of cops. Ohaneze IPOB protests. Rotimi, this happened days ago and it wasn't on the papers until like yesterday gradually. And we really don't know what exactly happened. Different versions. IPOB saying about 3 people were killed. The police said 2 policemen were burned. Each party denying that the other party lost anyone. But the question is, why were the policemen there? It seemed they were there to arrest the lawyer on some issues and everything just went out of hand.
If the police men or women or men and women have legitimate business somewhere, they should be there. That's why the police
Yeah,
exists.
and there's a report that they already invited him and he did not turn up, so they went there to arrest him.
Okay. Again, if the police have legitimate business anywhere, they have legitimate. We can't ask why is the police there. If there's anything wrong, we'll find out. I mean, we've seen where police don't have business. And when they went there and things went wrong, we found out that the police had no business there. In fact, several policemen and women have been arrested this year by the police and tried and dismissed for doing what they were not supposed to be doing. So if that is the case, we'll find out in due course. I don't like this idea that people ask, what was the police doing there? If it was wrong for them to be there, they did something wrong, we'll find out. So the police does make efforts to clean its ranks of this kind of people. The wrong thing here is for the police to allow a situation to develop in which they start exchanging words with different kind of groups like this, because the police should know that this is a sensitive issue. And if you go there in any way that can lead to provocation, there's already breakdown of trust. And you can't police without trust. So if there is breakdown of trust, you don't need to make it worse. In fact, it applies to any security agency.
Right.
You cannot do your job without trust. And if there is no trust there, so that's what I can see there now. Because these people are saying, you did it.
Yeah, back and forth and back and forth.
And
So
then
here's what
ordinary
the police-
citizens that have nothing to do with it are fleeing. Because
fleeing
they are
the town.
expecting extrajudicial reprisal in the place.
Right.
That further, underlines the breakdown of trust. Why should people be fleeing?
Because one person is declared
Yes.
wanted, the whole village had to run away.
So, the way security agencies conduct themselves has a lot to, even when, that action is legitimate. We should be having assurances from the police that, look, we are here to protect people. We are not here to harm people. And if anything has gone wrong, we'll get to the bottom of it. That's what we expect
the
to hear
police
from
has
the
said that
police.
joint patrol is still ongoing. That's the command deployed reinforcement from the state headquarters, comprising PMF, SARS, and special anti-court units in conjunction with the army and other sister agencies to cordon off the area to fish out the culprits. And joint patrol is still ongoing in the town to prevent further breakdown of law and order.
One lawyer.
Well, they're saying that
Police,
armed
army,
members.
SARS, anti-cult, one lawyer.
So they're claiming that armed members of IPOB had attacked the policemen who came to the house. So maybe that's
if they did so, it is wrong.
It is.
But if you are going to do that kind of thing,
Right.
there is also a way in which you approach. Look, security agencies have made mistakes, not just in Nigeria, globally. Remember the David Koresh stand down, with the FBI,
Right.
where all you needed to do, every reasonable person that understands, political history knows, in that kind of circumstance, all you need to do is just wait out the person. The person will, how long are they going to be there?
Right.
They will run out of food and water. Just be patient and keep explaining. You need to come out, no violence. So
Rotimi, this headline
somebody
will
in the
interest
FBI
you.
decided to fire a shell, that can cause fire in the place. Those ones returned by the end of the day. Children, women, people who had no business being shot, and they now teach those things in academy for future officers.
Let me run you by this headline quickly on the front page of the Vanguard. U.S. backs hate speech bill as Keyamo Pandef differ. U.S. backs hate speech bill. You
We'll
look
need
at
to see that
page
in more detail.
33. Here's what the paper says. The political officer of the Embassy of the United States of America, Jerry Howard, yesterday described the hate speech bill before the National Assembly as, quote, impressive.
Are you sure he was not being sarcastic?
An impressive piece of legislation needed to address issues of discrimination, hostility, and violence in Nigeria. That's the summary. And speaking
Do you think he was being sarcastic?
Well, look, hate speech, we've discussed it here a lot of times.
Right.
There is nothing wrong with hate speech legislation as far as it is specific. And I've given the example of the Jews, for instance, under Nazi Germany, under Hitler, where hate speech was used to demonize, persecute, round them up, put them in concentration camps, use them as slave labor, led to the extermination of 6 million, and so forth. So in Germany, France, places that were occupied by the Nazis, the hate speech legislation is quite specific in its protection of ethnic and religious minorities, not just Jews. It also protects Muslims in modern day society from hate speech.
What we have currently in Nigeria is so broad that
it is too broad and it is open to abuse.
Let me read some comments on our way out. WhatsApp, Pastor Ladipo Ayemo from Orile Gomus asked, when did protest become a crime? This is overzealous agency trying to please their principal. This is very unnecessary.
Sometimes no principal sent anybody.
Right, we don't know. Rafael Adegoke says the DSS don't have to announce to us that they have uncovered plots to cause breakdown of law and order. What they should be telling us is that they have arrested the plotters. Wemimo and Sheriff, the Association of Old Callers are watching you in 5D lens. Just bear with us.
It's
for
also
today.
possible to arrest people wrongly. So this call for arrest.
Yeah, but if they have, the proper thing to do is if they have evidence, arrest and charge them to court. Let the court decide, what the case is.
But there may be no evidence and people will be arrested.
That would be another issue.
Yeah, so
entirely.
that's not the right
Right.
call.
So we have more comments on Facebook. Let me see if I can read two of these.
There is one journalist
Bola
facing
Rotimi,
treason charges
yes,
for writing an article.
Please let me run through these very quickly. We're out of time. Bola Wakibami says Rotimi is spot on. We should not have another Odi on our hands in Anambra State. Dr. Mrs. Maolebara from Oruweri says, yes, police need a reorientation. They also need psychiatric check and attitudinal change because the rate at which they sniff lives out of human beings because of
Not
Roja
all the police.
is becoming alarming and embarrassing. And he says those bad eggs, she said, those bad eggs that give bad names to the police should be removed. And that's it. Let's take that for a break.
Yes, we must go right now. Rotimi Sankore, thank you for joining us on the front pages this morning. It's time for us to take a quick break right now because we have an interesting conversation coming up at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
It's a finance
From
bill.
January, you need your tax. I think that's the one that jumps out of me on the finance
This
bill.
is one of the things that is going to annoy young people.
It will.
Somebody will be a student.
Definitely.
You will tell the person to bring
Rotimi.
it because they take their school fees.
Right. So before you can use your bank accounts from January, you need your TIN. Join us for this and more at 8 o'clock. Old Callers Association, take the back seats.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the ride.
We'll announce it again when we return. Let's go now. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
I'm Wemimo Adewuni.